Hello everybody, this is Havoc, and welcome to The Deadly Path. This is one of the more stranger games that I've ever been sent before, but I am incredibly excited to play it because I was able to test it over Christmas break, and it's oddly satisfying in the strangest sort of way. This is a blend of building management, real-time strategy, possible real-time strategy I suppose, in a sort of a dark fantasy setting. So essentially, you are the custodian, and you're basically on the fence with the deadly gods down in this horrifying underworld. And what you need to do is you need to satiate them for as long as possible before eventually your resources are too much and you get consumed by the gods. It's really fun and, again, oddly satisfying. So first and foremost, thank you to Fireshine Game for sponsoring this video. I am super excited to play it. I'm also going to be playing the demo, which will be released today for you to play as well. So I highly recommend you at least go try it out and see what you like about it. But also, if you want to support the channel itself, you can do so by giving the video a like, by subbing to the channel, leaving your comments in the comments section down below. We are going to have the link in the description below as well, so you can check it out there. But let me tell you about this game as we get into it. All right, so we have our Shrine of Resurrection. We get to pick our deity that we will be worshiping or trying to satiate. In this case, we have the Cruel Teacher, which is just a tutorial. And due to the demo, we only have Royan, the Blightcaster. So his special buildings is a Scrapper's Nest. We'll get into all this again. This is a really weird kind of fantasy setting. The Scrapper's Nest offers a servant to train a Noxious respawn that excels at scavenging bone. I'm saying all this in no context is hilarious. And we also have a workhouse, which means you can assign servants to gather bones. We'll get to that in just a minute, I promise you, because it is a bit bizarre. Right now, we have 4 maps we could choose from. It is a little bit of a dungeon crawler as well, in a strange sort of way, as you explore this underworld and try to be as efficient as possible. All right, we are in the Shadowed Abyss, which means the victory conditions, we need to build a statue to Royan on a graveyard tile, construct 5 hovels, and complete 5 successful upkeeps. There is no guarantee that we will succeed. By the way, this has a lot of elements of roguelite as well, because you will have your runs that you will continually go through, learning to improve, unlocking new buildings, things of that nature. And we have our custodian, and as you can see, we have tons of custodians. If we were to go with Loam, we would start with the Blessing of Youth, which means we get 10 cycles to the map limit, or we can go with Arxis, which is grants the player an extra free failure of upkeep. And we'll get all that in just a second. So I'm going to roll with our custodian Arxis Whispers of Deceit. We do have our currency over here that we can use to do things like purchase something for the run specifically. And as you can see, we can't really do anything. We only have 150 buckaroonies, so we can't do any of that. So this is basically the long and short of it. Right now, we have our deity that we're worshiping and trying to satiate. All right, so first off, the music for the game is something I was not totally expecting whatsoever when I first booted it up, but it is absolutely fitting, and I absolutely really love it. But here is the long and short of our entire map here. We have our upkeep of resources. In this case, we have bone, we have meat, gold, knowledge, and blood. And in every single cycle, so in approximately 37.5 seconds, we will owe 9 resource or meat to the god in order to survive, basically. So we need to find out ways to make bone and make meat. Eventually gold and knowledge and blood will come in time. Here is our map in essence. So this is why I call it a little bit of a dungeon crawler, more maybe an underworld crawler, because we have to spend meat to excavate these tiles to progress throughout and see how we can make sure we are keeping up with demand. And we have a whole host of different types of tiles. Right here, our barracks, this is where we get our servants, and we will use our servants on the tiles. We have things like the Era Beacon, in which case, if we had the capability to make a dark factory, we could make a dark factory here using the built on an Era Beacon tile, rather. But as you can see, that timer goes down. We have 51.1 seconds until we are able to get our skeleton, and the upkeep for our skeletons is 2 meat. So if we were to use 2 skeleton servants right now, we would bump up to 11 meat per cycle. We also have some victory conditions, so things like construct 5 hovels on tiles, complete 5 successful upkeeps, which if we were to go here, we could then see I love tooltips and I love encyclopedias. So these are always really, really good for me in terms of encouraging people to play a game. And we also need a meat packing, have 3 slaughterhouse buildings, and then have 4 experimentorium buildings at the same time. Those are all secondary objectives. These are our primaries in order to progress. Now, every time you click off of somewhere, it starts the timer up again, so we have to be mindful of our time. But this is pausable until you do an action. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to pause it right back, and we're going to open up 4 tombs. All right, we can see 2 of them are empty paths. We could build a hovel right off the bat to increase our population limit. The upkeep though is 2 gold. So every single cycle we'd have 2 gold. Now gold is extremely hard to get, and it takes 40 seconds for 2 simple gold. So we don't want to do that until we are ready to try and tackle that, because gold upkeep is usually what kills you. However, this is going to be our standardized tile that we're going to use. These are ancient remains, so it has a limited supply of meat or bones. So if we were to do a carving spit and assign a servant, we would get 5 bone or 3 meat per 15 seconds with an upkeep of 2 bone, or go over here and get a scavenger's hut, in which case we earn 4 bones per 15 seconds if we have a servant on it. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do the meat spit, and we're going to drop a servant on there, and you can see there 3 meat every 12 seconds. Here comes our first cycle. Boom. All right, so -2 and -9. So we do kind of have to work a little bit quicker. So we have to manage our balance versus our upkeep and all of that sort of thing. So we're going to go ahead and rock a carving spit over here and then a scavenger's hut, so we can start making bones. And we have leveled up, which means we get 3 choices to work with. So we can either increase our scavenger hut production to 5 bone per 15 seconds, our carving spit to 4 meat per 15 seconds, or we can rock with the literal rock chisel, which means instead of 2 gold every 40 seconds, we get 2 gold every 30 seconds. We're going to rock with the rock chisel because, again, this is a very difficult task to do, and we need to make sure that we accomplish it in time. There we go. So now we've got gold production going, even though we don't necessarily need it in the moment. Sweet. So we can also see the health of our upkeep and production here. So for instance, the bone data, current upkeep, we get 8 per throne cycle. We have an upkeep of 4. So our resource status is currently secure. We are outpacing our consumption with our production. Meat data is a little bit risky. It's going to increase very significantly every time we roll through this. So we want to really be making sure our meat production is on par. And of course, resource production of gold is completely secure because, well, we don't have anything consuming gold at the moment. And so as you can see, if we were not to get any more meat within this next 35 seconds, we would actually lose. We don't want to lose. All right, but we do have to balance expansion because we need to find more resources. All right, so that's another empty path. We're going to be a little bit cautious here. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get another carving spit here, but we don't have anyone to use it and for another second. There we go. There's our test name. And if we hover over each tile, by the way, we can see how much we have left. So in this case, we have 88 bones left, which means, you know, however many cycles that is. If it's 4 per, that means we have quite a handful of cycles left. Same thing with the carving spit. Now what we could do is we could stack skeletons and make that harvest even more, but that will drain it faster. So we have to kind of balance how quickly we want to lose our resources versus how much we want to scale production. All right, so in this case, I don't necessarily want a hovel. I do want a carving spit, which makes more meat per cycle. I think that works for us right now. There we go. All right, so our rock chisel, which made our gold, is already out of service. And that was really, really quick. Now what we could do is we could eventually unlock the excavator building, which for 25 bones, we could remove this, leaving an empty path, which is something we could again use to build something like a hovel. So what we have to figure out now is, well, I would still like to generate some resources, and we actually don't have any other spit places that we could use. So we are going to go ahead and rock the rock chisel, and I'm going to unload and unlock a lot of things. Here we go. All right, so we've already done the population. We've already completed an objective. And now we have a little bit of a advanced building, if you want to call it that. So we have the bakehouse, which looks absolutely disgusting, the hollow, or the dread forest. So in this case, this gets 20 bones every 55 seconds instead of, 4 bones every 15. So it is a little bit of a more advanced building, but again, it does run out faster. Your hollow is the same, 50 bones per 45-second cycle, or we could do 8 meat per 25% cycle. We're gonna rock with this because again, I think the meat production is most important to figure out, but we can still work on our scavengers huts without a doubt to increase that. Now, what we also need to do is we are over our population limit, and because of that, we're actually we are consuming more meat as a result. So what we need to do is we do need to figure out how to increase our bone production in order to make a hovel, because we really, really need it. And we need affordable housing anyways, so we need to get to work on it. All right, so we could get another increase to the carving spit, in which case we get 5 meat per 15 seconds, and depleting a resource node earns you 5 meat as well. We're gonna go ahead and unlock that. I really wanna focus on meat production. We do have to balance it with bone production, but I think we'll still be okay overall. And we built our hovel, which means we are now losing gold. So I am definitely going to want to work on increasing our gold production as well, even if it is slightly temporary in the moment. And now we've hit the killing moon cycle, and I'll be quite frank, I have no idea what the killing moon cycle means. I don't know that I've ever failed it, so I don't know what the killing moon does, which sounds terrible, but I do know it's like a super intense period. And so we do want to kind of slow things down to make sure we're rocking it and rolling it okay. I assume it means that this upkeep is just drastically larger. I think that's pretty much what I've seen so far, and it could be completely wrong. But regardless, I think we're going to get through it, and we will. There we go. Okay, cool. Now we have a reservoir built on a flesh pit, which is such a gross thing to think about. Can only be built once, 2 bone, 50 meat per 45-second cycle. Infested tunnels immediately grants a fetid wormbane servant that excels at slaughtering meat. Okay. Built on a collapsed mine, so we'd have to find the collapsed mine. Oh, wow. Okay, so we just got a ton of skeletons that we can use. But again, we have to be mindful of our upkeep here and everything in between. So I am going to go ahead and build a couple of hovels, and then we have to do some major expansion. Now, again, what I could do, for instance, is I could stack that on there, which, again, levels me up. Here we go. 2 gold per 25 seconds, and every last drop available in collapsed mines and gold veins increased by 30%. So as you can see, we're depleting a lot of our resources. In fact, our resource production has really stalled, so we need to work on that. We need more bones as well. There goes the rock chisel, and we actually don't even have enough bones to work on this. There's a good old collapsed mine. All right, and then we're gonna have to end up sacrificing some of our skeleton boyos into the meat production because we're just not keeping up with demand. There we go. So I didn't want to put 2 on each one, but we're at that point now. And now we're also at the point where, 1, we level up again, which means a scavenger hunt, 5 bone per second would actually be really good. We're gonna unlock hovel 2, which is gonna give us even more of an upkeep. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to end up rocking. And then again, as we expand, it's actually going to cost more meat to do so. Now that unlocks some potential higher rewards as well. So for instance, this festering chasm, if we were to build this, upkeep per trained unit excels at scavenging bones. So we're going to book that. But again, the cost per trained unit is 1 gold instead of something else. So we have to be crazy mindful of it all. A foreman's office, what is this? Assign a servant to smelt gold. Upkeep cost is 3 meat, but it earns 2 gold per 45-second tile. Can only be built on a collapsed mine. You got that right. So I could go here, right? Or I could go down infested tunnels. No, we're gonna do that. And then we're also gonna do a rock chisel. Okay, so we got that there, that boyo there. We're gonna work on the scrapper's nest. My word, we've got a lot to manage. I need to build 2 more houses. And then I need to find a place for a slaughterhouse as well. On the ancient remains in the Age of Industry. We may not get to the Age of Industry, by the way, because it is a wee bit difficult, but we will see. What are we looking for here? Infested tunnels. Excels at slaughtering meat. Let's go ahead and wait for that one. Oh no, and we are overloading ourselves 100%. Okie dokie. All right, so we do have these boyos. The rats are really good at getting bones, so we're definitely going to optimize and put them there. But my concern right now, for one, is I don't have a whole lot of bones to keep this upkeep up, but I'm also running really low on my available gold supply. So actually, we may be a little bit out there in terms of what we need to do there. An experimentorium. Assign a servant to gather knowledge from buried corpses built on a graveyard. Only available in the Age of Industry, so we don't want to worry about that. Let's see, we could do a foreman's office plus, which gets us more gold per 40-second cycle. Okay, cool. There's our graveyard. So right now we could, let's see, only available in the Age of Industry. We really need that, but I really have no clue how to reach the Age of Industry. We have our experimentorium, which we can't do with anyways. And then we need to build 2 more housing, but my word, I'm afraid that we're going to be a little bit out there. Let's go ahead and unlock some more of these guys. Ooh, what is this? Let's see. Oh, this is just an excavator. We have a misted cove. Here's our collapsed mine, which if we could, we would totally build another foreman. But instead, we're going to go here because, again, we need that gold. And then we do have another ancient remains that we're going to turn to a scavenger hunt and drop a couple of those boyos in there. And now, as you can also see, we're unlocking buildings, which is a bit of our roguelite because we don't have to actually do this exact path of unlocking buildings, but we also have our passives. So we grant the player an extra free failure of upkeep. We reduce the gold upkeep of servants by 1 per steward's collar. Our leftovers depletes a resource node, earns us 5 meat. And then every last drop, the gold available in collapsed mines and gold veins is increased. So we're actually doing okay, but we just have to be careful about overexpansion versus dealing with, oh my word, we have so much rubble. Okay, so let's go ahead and rock the scavenger hut and these 2 because we really need to upkeep or increase our bone production. Oh, very cool. We have an upgrade to our barracks. Automatically assemble skeleton peon servants, but it reduces it from 55 seconds to 50. I like that a lot. Our infested tunnels would be nice as well. 2 fetid wormhole servants, or wormbane servants rather. Or we could increase the foreman's office even more. Gain 1 gold every time you excavate a tile. Oh, that's great. We can eventually unlock the excavator if we get that far into this run. But yeah, that's really awesome. We really need the foreman's office, I think. Let's do a rock chisel instead. All right, and then we're going to drop some bone boyos in there. Really work on increasing our total amount. And then why is this saying failing? Output per throne cycle is 24. Node upkeep, barracks, our foreman's office, our servant upkeep is 30%. I mean, we have at least 3 cycles worth, so I'm a little unsure why it's freaking out like it's freaking out. But regardless, we'll keep an eye on it. I do need to increase my my population, so we're gonna go rock with the hovel, which is going to increase it by a good bit and bring us over. There we go. Now that does increase our gold production requirements, so we do have to keep that in mind. Okay. So this is where we could build our bakehouse, which is something that we need anyways. Oh no, we need a slaughterhouse, excuse me. All right, I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit and drop into these 3 tiles to see what we can't get done. All right, here is our killing moon with our drastic upkeep in everything. So we want to keep a level head about ourselves. Why can't I build one of these? Oh, it can only be built once. Okay, hold on. Where is it? There it is. Okay. No, we don't want to destroy it. That's totally fine. But I do need a rock chiseler. Oh, they are not good in that area. Dadgummit. That is a very unoptimal place to put them. All right, Scrapper's Nest offers a servant to train a noxious respawn that excels at scavenging bone. We're not going to worry about that at the moment, but look at that. Oh my word. Oh no, I accidentally built that instead of the... Oh, we may be in trouble, folks. We might be in a bit of trouble. And the music suddenly quit, which is super creepy. Oh my word, we are barely going to make this, but we're not making the next cycle. Okay, we will make the next cycle. So that killing moon just really messes with us. All right, a defiled burrow. Immediately gain a seething ghoul servant that excels at smelting gold. Festering chasm with a hollow or reservoir in a flesh pit. Upkeep costs us 2 bones. Can only be built once. Let's go ahead and unlock it. Oh wow, I actually don't even have a flesh pit available. I have no meat production. It's all gone. Or a carving spit, excuse me. We need to get this guy in here immediately. And I mean, if I'm not making it, I'm not making it. So we definitely need more. Let's get in that bakehouse, which I still don't think is going to be enough for us. Now, the thing is, we can lose once. And if we lose once, we're just kind of on the fence, as it were. So we're going to go ahead and unlock Barracks 2. So it's not the end of the world, but it is the end of the world next time. And also, one of the cool things that I like about this game is it does show you optimization. So our noxious rat spawn goes well here, and it lets me know that. So that's definitely a cool thing that I really enjoy about the game, because it's not just leaving you to hang out to dry. It is actually going to help you figure things out as it can. Nice, we've done affordable housing. Now we just need the statue of Royan, which, again, I just don't think is possible right now, because we need to get in the Age of Industry, and I really, again, I don't know if it's even possible in the demo to get to the Age of Industry, but we're okay. All right, let's go with another barracks here. We're just going to increase our barracks. All right, we only have 5 cycles left before this run is technically complete. I didn't actually think I was going to make it there for a little bit, but it does look like we are going to. And again, we're locked out. We literally cannot expand anymore, so I have to utilize everything that's here until we can move forward. And I think, again, we're going to make it. I'm going to make it 100% with our gold, because we only have 5 cycles left, 100% with our bones, and it looks like our meat is even up in the air in terms of positivity, so we're definitely gonna make it that way. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't think it was gonna happen, but it is incredibly fun figuring all this out. We can't build our stone to statue of Royan, because, well, we just can't, so it is what it is. We could get a smelter, though. Ooh, built on a gold vein. We're gonna unlock it, even though it's not gonna really matter for us. And we are just going to quickly cycle through some of these last things just for kicks and giggles. Oh my word, there's so much going on here. We're getting all of these buffs at the very last second, and I don't know why it's say we're failing now. I really don't know, because like my brother, we have more than enough here. Regardless, it's saying we're going to fail, so I'm going to rock in here, and we're just going to make sure our bone production stays high enough, because I don't want to low-key fail at the very last second. That'd be super embarrassing. That would be really embarrassing, actually. And again, there's lots of things that we couldn't end up building, which is fine. That's just part of the run aspect and the roguelike aspect. We could go with the Dread Forest or a Decaying Crawl. Let's go with the Decaying Crawl, which again, I don't think really matters at this point, but it's still something cool to just pursue just for kicks and giggles. Oh, I see. I forgot about the killing moon cycle. Okay, that's actually a little bit of an issue. Let's go there. Let's go there. We are out of spaces for our gold production, by the way. So fingers crossed we're able to make it through, but I still think we'll be fine. Brilliant, made it through. We'll go with a barracks. Why the heck not? And then this is our last cycle. Super exciting that we made it through, because again, I wasn't quite sure we were going to. And as you can see, we've been depleting things heckin' fast. And there we go. So we actually did run out of time in the fact that we weren't able to build that statue, and we needed to build that statue. But we still made it through without the gods consuming us. So in my opinion, this is a win. And if we got 180 of the currency, and if we were to go to the main menu, we now see that we have 335 here, which we could go to a power-up altar, reducing the cost to construct buildings, or the upkeep penalty for exceeding population, things of that nature, gain more XP during a run, etc., etc. And we could simply just run that again, get different buildings, and try and unlock different things that we couldn't do beforehand. And that is the essence of the Deadly Path. Now again, this is the demo, so you're able to play the demo now, which only involves Royan the Blightcaster. Again, I'm not sure if you can even win to get into the Age of Industry. I'm uncertain of that, but regardless, it's still a pretty fun demo to gain an understanding of the game as a whole. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end this video right here. So again, a huge shout out to Fireshine for supporting this video and sponsoring it. And I hope that you have enjoyed the game as well. Again, it's a little bit different. The art style is a little bit different, but all of the strangeness of it has an appeal to me that I've really, really enjoyed. And I hope you do too. If you want to support this channel, you can do so by giving the video a like, by subscribing, and of course, leaving your comments in the comment section down below. If you want to support the game, you can go and wishlist it, which I guarantee you is going to be one of the best ways to support in the moment, because wishlisting, of course, boosts a game in Steam's algorithm to give it a little more visibility. So the more wishlists it has, the better chance other people will see it. And of course, you can play the demo today, which I highly recommend that you do 100%, if even just to give it a try if it's not your thing. Because again, it's so intriguing and curious and dark and weird and strange that I had to play it, and I'm really, really glad I did. Thank you so much again for watching. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.